Hello there, my name is Akshay and welcome to Curley Street. What we do is make films and noise about all that is uncomfortable, awkward, and complex about being human. As you know, we've dedicated this month to bystander intervention. Now I know that's a term that's new to India and it sounds kind of intimidating and complex, but at its heart, it's super simple. So before I call on the expert, let me give you my layman's understanding of what it is. Essentially what it means is if you see someone in distress, don't do nothing. That's it, it's the bare minimum. So, I have the pleasure of introducing our expert, Dr. Divya Kannan, who is a clinical psychologist specialized in trauma and sexual violence. She used to practice in the Vanderbilt University and very recently moved back to Bangalore. She's been trained in bystander intervention. And so, let's get right to it.
So, bystander intervention is largely a violence prevention strategy that focuses on the community doing something when you witness someone in distress or when you witness a situation that seems a little concerning to you. And of course, these situations are going to vary. Anytime we try to do a bystander intervention, it is situational. But the idea behind it is that it builds our resources and our capacities to act and have options to respond when someone is in need of help. I think sometimes people think of it as, those really dangerous or threatening situations where someone might be assaulted on the street. But they're also kind of everyday situations that we are faced with. Like just to give you an example, this is from a long time ago, but I was on a bus in Bombay and there was a girl sitting kind of across from me and she just seemed uncomfortable, and the person sitting next to her, I don't exactly know what he was doing, but she seemed uncomfortable. And I thought for a minute, what can I do? Like, what are my options? Because I noticed this event. Can I talk to the bus conductor or the bus driver? What I ended up doing was just moving one seat over and asking her if she wanted to sit next to me. So that's just an everyday example of what bystander intervention can be. You're not really supposed to confront an aggressor or be hostile in any way. So just to give you an example, I was with my friends at a bar a couple of weeks ago in Bangalore, and I noticed this younger girl who seemed, probably she had had a lot to drink and just didn't seem very sure of herself or her surroundings. But for some reason I didn't feel quite safe like going up to her based on who she was with. I didn't want to take that risk. So I just went to the bartender and said, where's your manager? Can someone just take a look at that situation? And in observing that, it looked like the manager came over and found her friend, one of her female friends, and I think they left soon. So I do always consider my personal safety before I act. And I think about other options that I can act in a more indirect way. So the goal of bystander intervention is to interrupt the moment as it's occurring. Sometimes that's not always possible. So sometimes we might have a delayed reaction where something has already occurred, but we can go in and check in with the person and just say like, are you okay? Do you need to use my phone? Do you need transportation? But the goal is not so much about what happened in the past or what's going to happen in the future. It's about in the moment what we've witnessed and how can we respond, and don't do nothing. We often might be kind of in a moment of panic when something happens and not know how to respond and freeze. So I think what I found helpful is to know what the local resources are. So just knowing, even when you're traveling, to what are your emergency contacts or what are the local resources. We have such a wealth of NGOs and organizations here that can kind of reach out to us if we know how to get in touch with them. There are a lot of resources online. There are worldwide organizations that stand behind bystander intervention. Google Scholar is a great place to go for research on bystander intervention. And I'm happy to be a resource as well. You can send me a question if you have one about bystander intervention. We can also collaborate to organize a workshop if that's something you'd be interested in. I'm really here to help with that. So please contact me if you have any questions about it.
A big, big, big thank you to Dr. Divya for all that information. I found it profoundly helpful. I hope you guys did too. I know the concept of bystander intervention is, at the end of the day, a choice. It is a bit of a subjective concept, but at its core, we do believe it's about caring about other people. And that's something that Curley Street feels very strongly about. Those are the kind of conversations you can expect to hear from us on. Follow us all this month because we're going to be talking a lot more about bystander intervention. You can write to us, send us an email, give us a call. We're awake and listening. Follow us on Facebook, follow this conversation on YouTube as well, subscribe to our channel. A big thank you to all our supporters, our little village, for all the love and encouragement. Stay awake with us. Learn about bystander intervention.